Yes, in the previous video, we have studied about one of the laws that was been discovered by Mendel, that is law of segregation. That means whatever the dominant trait is in the particular character is there in particular individual, then it becomes dominant. For example, if you take tall as dominant as well as a small t in particular individual, then it becomes a dominant. If there are two recessive traits, it becomes recessive character. If there are two dominant characters, then it becomes dominant, tall. So that is about law of segregation. Now let us see what is the other law, that is law of independent assortment. Mendel's second law of inheritance or law of independent assortment states that in the inheritance of more than one pair of traits in a cross simultaneously, the factors responsible for each pair of traits are distributed independently to the gametes. They are distributed independently. In the previous one, they are not distributed individually, but here they have distributed individually. For example, in the same thing, he has taken round yellow seeds, which is round. Round is being characterized by capital R, and yellow color is being characterized by capital Y, which is a dominant character. Fine. If you take wrinkled as well as green seeds, you will see with smaller, that is represents wrinkled, as well as a small y represents green color. So that is why in the picture he has shown with yellow as well as green. So what did he do actually? He's independently he has taken from the two dominant characters, he has taken round one character, that is capital R, as well as a capital Y here. In the second one also he has done the same thing, small r and small y. What did he do? He mixed with each other. He mixed with each other. Then what did he get in the particular cell? Capital R, capital Y, small y. What did this cell become? It also becomes round as well as yellow. Why? Because as I told you in the law of segregation, if there is at least one dominant character, whether it is capital R, at least one dominant character, then it becomes a dominant. This is in this. Okay, now what did he do? He has taken all these things and this is called as a Punnett table. So in this, all the generations 9 is to 3 proportion. See here, 9 will be yellow round, 3 will be green round, and 3 will be yellow wrinkled, as well as 1 will be green wrinkled. Green wrinkled. This will be the proportion which you get in the law of independent assortment. Next, transmission of traits. The characteristic of traits of parents are transmitted to their offspring through genes present on their chromosomes during the process of sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction only, right? The characters as being carried to offspring. Genes work in pairs. Genes never work singly, they work in pairs actually. So for every trait, there is a pair of genes, one dominant and one recessive. Just now we have studied that one round as well as one yellow. Round, yellow, whereas round, green. So that is genes work in pairs. Each parent possesses only one of the two genes of the pair for each characteristic. Through the offspring inherits two genes for each trait from its parents, but the traits shown by the offspring depends on the inherited gene is dominant of the two. So in the previous law of independent assortment, what we have seen, round character, round is the dominant character and yellow is also dominant character. Okay, so round has been gone to the offspring as well as yellow also gone to the offspring. For example, if you take round and the green color, how it has appeared in the offspring, round, the dominant character has appeared in the offspring as well as the green character has appeared. So how you can show that it has appeared? Because of the whether it is dominant or not. Based on that, which trait has been come to the offspring. Based on that, you can characterize the trait which has come to the offspring. That's what he is saying. Through the offspring inherits two genes for each trait. Capital R, smaller also will be coming to the offspring. In that, what it shows the dominant character. Why? Because there is one dominant character there. Next is genes. When a male gamete fuses with a female gamete during fertilization, they make a new cell called as a zygote. This we have studied in the previous chapter, that is how do organisms reproduce. In the reproduction chapter, we have studied that when male gamete and female gamete fuse together, it forms a zygote with a full set of genes on a full set of chromosomes. This zygote grows and develops to form a new organism having characteristics from both the parents, which it has inherited through genes. Which is as inherited through genes, it has got both the characteristics. The two genes responsible for a particular characteristic are always present on the corresponding position of the pair of chromosomes. These genes will be present on a pair of chromosomes all the time. Next is blood group. Blood groups in human beings, there are four blood groups. What are they? A, B, O, and AB blood groups. Okay. A, B are codominant genes, whereas O is a recessive gene. O is a recessive gene, A, B are codominant. The genes for blood groups are denoted by IA. A is actually superscript, IB, etc. If the genotype is so and so, then the blood group will be A blood group. If the genotype is like this, IB, and if it is like this, if at least one subscript is there, then the blood group will be B. If the genotype is IO, then the blood group will be O. O is recessive, remember, and remaining all are codominant. What blood group is yours? Whether you are dominant or recessive. Next is the sex determination. The process by which the sex of a person is determined is called as a sex determination. The chromosomes which determine the sex of a person are called as the sex chromosomes. Autosomes as well as the sex chromosomes will be there. Autosomes do not participate or else are not responsible for the sex of the offspring, whereas the sex chromosomes are responsible for the sex of the offspring. Sex chromosome in male is actually XY and in female it is XX. If a sperm carrying the sperm which enters the female egg cell, if it carries Y chromosome in its cell, then the child born will be boy, Y chromosome. If a sperm carrying X chromosome, if a sperm carrying only X chromosome, then the child will be X. That means who is responsible here? The male will be responsible. It is the sperm which determines the sex of the child. Only sperm determines the sex of the child actually. Sex determination human beings. See here, male and female. Male gametes are sperms, whereas female gamete is egg cell, right? So when both fuse together, this is X chromosome and this is Y chromosome he has given, and this female is X all the time X chromosome. Okay, when this X from the male gene as well as from X from the female, when it fuses together, baby girl will be born. When the Y chromosome from the male gamete as well as from the X chromosome from the female, when these two fuses with each other, baby boy will be born. This is about sex determination. So tell me now, who is responsible for the sex of the child? Only male will be responsible. But the illiterates treat that female are responsible for the sex of the child, but it is no. Right? Because as we Indians, still there are illiterates in villages. Still they kill the female for the, if they give birth to female child. See how pathetic we are in. So we have to educate our Indian society to help female feticide killing. Female feticides still, as well as to get rid of this ignorance towards females especially. Fine, thank you.